What is going on, guys? This is KOJOFOREX, aka GBP Legend, aka Sniper Trader, aka King of Blues. I'm back on your screen again, guys. Today I have something very different for you, which is basically how to get that sniper entry, right? In fact, that wick entry most of you have been fancying about, right? So watch this video to the end. If you found value in it, make sure to like and subscribe. If you're a visiting viewer, make sure to stay on this channel because there's a lot of valuable things and then information that I'll be sharing with you guys along the way. Without wasting much time, let's watch the intro and get right back into the video. Yeah, guys, so like I told you, today we're going to be learning basically how to get that wick entry in that forex market, right? So we're going to really analyze two perspectives of how to get that wick entry, right? So basically we're going to look into support and resistance as one, and then we're also going to look into what I call sponsored candle, right? Basically some concept that I learned from some guys that are also in fact really relevant in this market, right? So I tell you guys that what in this market there are so many concepts that can do the same thing, right? So we're going to look at this, and then the beautiful thing about the market is that not even one of them can be pegged above the other. So this is a very simple trick that I'm going to show you guys, right? It's so simple to the extent that you wonder how come you always knew this basic concept but never was thinking about the market that way, right? We're going to start first off with the support and resistance one that can allow us to get that sniper entry we're looking for, right? Today I'm going to be looking at this with respect to gold and then pound Swiss franc, right? We're going to start with the support and resistance, right? So if you think about the support and resistance, what most people are meant to, believe and watch on YouTube is that when we have that consistent touches, right, up, down, like that, then the market creates, that consistent range. Then we call those range like what? That resistance range, and then we call this range that support range, right? But what I'm going to teach you different for you to be able to understand and then get that sniper entry is that what you think about support or resistance is only one simple thing, right? One simple rule, in the sense that any major turning point in the market automatically becomes a support or a resistance, right? So if you're talking about support, another definition that I would give to it, right, or resistance, is that any price point below which the market failed to go any lower, it is serving as a support, and any price point above which the market failed to go any higher, it is also serving as what? A resistance. So with that simple phrase or line in mind, how can you be able to use that concept or this new thing to find the sniper entry, right? Now let's look at this example from gold. We're going to start with the resistance one, right? So like I just told you, any price point that reverses or that market failed to go any higher, we consider it as what? A resistance in the market. Now another important thing to remember is that with the concept of support and resistance, another thing is that it is actually a zone, not only like a price point. So even though we're going to identify that wick at the very top of the range as that support level or that resistance level, we kind of want to establish some range, and then I'll teach you exactly how I find this range. Let's say if this was that resistance level that was created around this area right here for XAU USD, right, this zone where I put this red line right here becomes my resistance zone. And then if you look closely, when I zoom in, you can clearly see that what we have another kind of a space here between the body of the candle and then this wick right here. That becomes my resistance zone, just like that. So now that this place has become my resistance zone, anytime the market comes there, then I am looking for an opportunity to sell. You can take this in two ways. Number one, you want to really be seated by your desk actively monitoring the price action, and then when the market gets into that zone, you can execute. Or the other way to do it is that you can use a pending order. In this case, you're going to be using the sell limit, right? In the sense of the resistance, sell limit in the sense that you are setting the limit within that range that when the price get there, it should trigger, and then when you're supposed to be right in this trade, it's going to come all the way down, right? So with the sell limit placed exactly at that tip of that entry, right, where we have that wick of the body, in the sense that once the market is rallying all the way up, it taps here, the limit is triggered, and then if it's supposed to be right or if it's supposed to be a winning position, you get a market coming all the way down. The right place to put your stop loss for this kind of setup is just a few pips above the last high, which is this initial wick out here, right? You want to put your stop loss a few pips above it like that, so that if the market perhaps wants to play around with the wicks, you don't get stopped out with just a random wick, and then this would be how the setup is going to look like, right? In the same way is how we look at the support level as well. So in the sense of the support, you're going to use what? A buy limit, right? So you're going to have that zone established, and then you set your limit just right here like that. And then when the market comes into that zone, it's going to trigger your buy limit and then go up if that position is supposed to be a winning setup. Now let's look at practically how this would have taken effect, right? Using that sell limit concept for this one. I'm going to be using the replay tool, and then once the market gets into that zone, right, we're assuming that we're seated by our screens, and let's see how we're going to be able to, like, take these positions right off. So market gets into the zone, the setup is triggered here, our stop loss is right above the range, and let's see what unfolds. Basically puts us into profit, right? Puts us into a big profit. Let's see how far this one went. So basically, if you held this setup, this would have been what an insane risk to reward setup, right? Which is as much as what 1:55 just by using this concept, right, that I've just shown you. And look at exactly how you'd have got that insane wick entry, right, with 1:55, which also means that if you risked 2%, then you're making what, 110%, right? If you raise 2%, that's how you can literally grow a small account insane just by using this simple trick that I've just taught you, right? If we go back again, if we keep up with the back testing, right, most recently we had the same setup again in gold just this week past, right? Let's look at how it reacted within that zone again, and then we'll see how we could have made some setup from it. Still with us maintaining that zone, because still price has not closed above that range, so it's still a key zone for us to find what sniper entry. Eventually market comes into that zone. We're expecting that our order should have been triggered, stop loss right above the range, and then let's see how this one also plays out. Insane, right? Very, very, very insane for you to have that incredible entry just by using this simple tricks that I'm showing you guys. Now this is the resistance perspective. Let's look at also another example from the support perspective using the same gold, right? Let's look at another example from the support perspective. Like I explained to you, that last week want to be that support for you, right? So here, if we're using the replay tool again, this is how it's going to look like. So as we have established here as our support, remember that what I like to use this wick and then the body to establish my support zone. Now with that being done, I can use my buy stop set just right here, and then my stop loss were just beneath that zone, and then my take profit could be close to the next high, right? My final take profit could be close to the next high, which is here. And then this setup is 1:14 because the stop loss is a little bit higher than usual, right? Basically also meaning that if you're risking 2%, that's 1:28, right? Which is still perfect, right? Let's see how this one eventually also turned out, right? So you really want to pay close attention to how I established that support zone as well, right? With that difference between the wick and then the body. Now let's use the replay tool and then see how this one eventually unfolded. Taps into the zone, pushes up, and gives us incredible risk to reward, right? Clearly tapping into that take profit as well, right? Yeah, so this is the part 1 of how to get that insane sniper entry. I'm going to shoot the part 2 and explain that sponsored candle concept as well, right? I believe you guys loved this video. It was very detailed and simple. Make sure to click in the link in the description to join the Telegram community. Follow me on all social media, KOJOFOREX, especially on Instagram and not on Facebook. I'm less active on Facebook, right? Because I've been actually doing a lot of live sessions where I teach these kind of concepts for my Instagram followers for free. And also make sure to subscribe if you haven't done that. It's very important for you to subscribe if you found value in this video. And then if you also want to get notified for the next part 2, you know what to do. Click on the bell icon so that when I post the next part 2 of this video, you can be notified to watch it, right? Without wasting my time, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.